Welcome back everybody. In today's video, we'll be talking about even more types of notes you can play on cymbals. So these notes are called dings, zings, hi-hats, and sizz. The first note that we are going to be talking about is called a ding. For it, you'll hold the cymbals out at orchestral and 2 counts before the note itself, you'll move the right cymbal out like this. So imagine like an upside down T, except the left cymbal is still at orchestral. The right cymbal is angled out perpendicular to the left cymbal, where the edge of the right cymbal is over the bell of the left cymbal. So imagine where my hands are as being the bell, even though of course my drumsticks are not cymbals. What you would want to do 1 count before the note itself is you'll prep like this. You'll take the right cymbal out like this, and on the count of the note, you'll drop the right cymbal into the edge of the bell of the left cymbal to play the actual ding itself.
Dings are a pretty rare note, but I'll try to find any examples that I can and try to show you guys what they sound like.
The next type of note that we are going to be covering is called a zing. For this one, remember the zing position from the earlier video? Well, this is actually the prep for the zing itself. I'll use just a regular port zing as an example. For this one, you'll have the right cymbal at about the same height or the same angle as port, except a little bit lower, while the left cymbal is at the same height as port, but angled at more of a 110 degree offset from regular port. On the count of the note, you'll just let the right cymbal press tightly, grind up the left cymbal so that you get the zing sound. Now the position actually is the prep, so there isn't a type of prep you will need 1 count before the note itself, as long as you play the zing and reset back in time.
Just a side note, the blade of the right cymbal will be pressed tight against the edge of the left bell. Zings are also a pretty rare note, but I'll try to find any examples that I can and try to show you guys what they sound like.
The second to last note that we are going to be covering is called a hi-hat. For this one, you'll have the cymbals at the same height as orchestral, except the cymbals are going to be angled flat like this. Now the edges of the cymbals are going to be tucked into your stomach like this, so that you can open and close the cymbals like a clamshell. So you're going to pivot the cymbals off of the back ends. For the cymbals, you'll also want to have them displaced a little bit like this, so that the cymbals are not directly on top of one another. Remember what we talked about with pops? That is the exact same reason why you have displacement for a hi-hat, so the cymbals don't create a vacuum. Now with the cymbals, 1 count before the note itself, you'll open the cymbals like a clamshell or like a trash can lid, and on the count of the note, you'll close the cymbals tightly.
Just like before, here are some examples of what hi-hats look like and sound like. Just note that the example that I use, it's not the same definitions as what we defined, but it does give the same sound.
The last type of note that we are going to be talking about is called a sizz. For this one, you'll want to have the cymbals out at orchestral, and for the prep itself, you'll lift up the right cymbal just a little bit so that they are a little bit up here like where you see on the camera. And for the count of the note, you'll drop the right cymbal into the left cymbal. Note the displacement at the top and bottom. They are not directly on top of one another. As they are on top of each other, ironically, you'll have a sizzle sound. If there is too much force, then the sizzle sound will die out too quickly. If there's not enough, then the sizzle sound is not going to ring out at all. The ideal amount of time the sound should last is about 1 whole note or 4 regular counts in a 4/4 bar.
Just like before, here are some examples of what a sizz looks like and sounds like.
There is a variant of sizz that we are going to be talking about today. For this, it is called a Sizz Sucks. What you would want to do is prep and play the sizz as usual, but as the sizz is ringing out, you'll start to extend your arm forward just like the follow through of a crash. On the count of the suck, you'll pull the right cymbal back to orchestral. The cymbals will be on top of each other so that you can get the pop. This is the only note where you'll want the pop itself. The reason why is because when you get the pop motion or the vacuum from the Sizz Suck, you cut off all the sound of the Sizz. So again, you'll want to extend your arm out during the Sizz and on the count of the suck, or actually an eighth note before the suck itself. You'll pull the right cymbal back into the left to cut off the sound.
And finally, here are some examples of Sizz Sucks.
That is all for this video. Come back next time where we will be talking about how to mark time and how to read basic cymbal notation. On the count of the suck, which is the